Good afternoon. Welcome to the streaming session of the Transfarm 4.0 project. It is the last day today at EMA in Bologna of our Open Innovation Week. Just a few words before giving a quick overview of the next calls for proposals of the Horizon Europe program. Transfarm 4.0 is an innovation project funded by the European Central Europe, Interreg Central Europe program. So we're very thankful to the Central Europe program for making this possible. It is a joint initiative of 10 partners from 5 European countries. In our case, it's Italy, Slovenia, Austria, Hungary, and Poland. So we've been present this week at EMA with a great turnover of attendance to illustrate our project and the small pilot actions we have developed on precision agriculture to demonstrate the efficiency of new technologies applied to agriculture. Of course, this is an innovation project, so it relates also pretty much to the results of research activities. So the purpose of this small session today is to clarify some elements, some quick rules of the Horizon Europe program, which started in 2021 to fund research activities in the next 7 years until 2027. For those who don't know too much about Horizon Europe, it's a large framework program funded by the European Union, which allows European and also associated member states to join forces for research activities. This slide tells a bit of the architecture of the program. It is a very complex program which covers many areas and many levels of maturity, so to say, of research activities, from basic research to applied research and innovation. What's important to consider is that the field of agriculture falls into the second pillar, the so-called global challenges. So we know that agriculture and sustainable and productive agriculture, which is the vision of the European Union, is one of the key challenges for our society. And it falls into Pillar 2, Global Challenges and European Industrial Competitiveness, which is organized in 6 clusters. So if you're looking for calls for proposals covering agricultural-related areas, chances are you will find them mostly in cluster number 6, which is where food, bioeconomy, natural resources, and the environment are going to be covered. Right now we are coming out of the first call for proposal of Horizon Europe, being closed on the 6th of October. So a lot of research organizations have been submitting proposals in early October. But there's a new wave of topics open for submission early next year in February, and in some cases in September, when the call is organized in 2 stages. So we're going to give a very quick overview with themes that relate somehow to the possible application of precision agriculture technologies. So the first one is has the title of Agroecological Approaches for Sustainable Weed Management. So we're talking about weed management. It is a research and innovation action. When you see the acronym RIA, it means Research and Innovation Action, and it is funded 100% of eligible costs. This is a 2 stages topic with a first deadline on the 15th of February 2022 to submit a short application of 10 pages which summarizes the key objectives and expected impact of the project. Usually the first stage projects are evaluated based on the scientific excellence and on the expected impact. So there is no detail on their implementation plan. In case a proposal gets selected after stage one, the consortium will be invited to submit a proposal, a full proposal for stage two, and the deadline then would be on the 6th of September 2022. So organizations that submit a proposal on the 15th of February, they will probably have an answer in 2-3 months' time. So in spring, they would be able to know whether they are invited to submit the phase 2 application. This is a very short extract from the call text. So I invite all of you to actually consult the online portal, the funding portal of the European Union, to access all details about the call. But as you can see from the last line, precision and site-specific weeding and digitalized weed monitoring are among the keywords of the call. So this definitely calls for the application of digital technologies in weed management. Another topic is related to the assessment. So assessing the nexus of extraction, production, consumption, trade, and behavior patterns, and of climate change action on biodiversity in the context of transformative change. This is again a research and innovation action, so it's funded 100%, but unlike the previous topic, this is organized in only one stage. So you will need to submit the full application by the 15th of February 2022. This actually calls for the application of several types of technologies, like sensors, GIS mapping, big data, and the use of observational programs like Copernicus. So there's scope to collaborate from different perspectives of technologies and to actually also integrate and solve problems related to the interoperability of systems and data. Another topic which could be of interest is the demonstration network on climate smart farming, boosting the role of advisory services. This is a bit different from a research and innovation action. As you see from the acronym, it's a CSA. CSA stands for Coordination and Support Action. These are not pure research projects, but they're essentially a large supporting schemes to research activities. And in this case, they relate to promoting the role, advancing the role of advisory services across Europe. So those organizations that should provide advice and guidance to the farming communities to actually choose and adopt innovation. This is a very sensitive topic, as with the multiplication of technological options, of course, it becomes quite complex for farmers to choose what technologies and what instruments to go for. So this is essentially devoted and revolves around advisory services. So it goes without saying that organizations having the role of advisory services should be there in the consortium. But there's scope also for technology providers to be there to actually meet the need of providing guidance on technologies and quite clearly also on precision agriculture technologies to be applied in European regions. As a background to these short information about the next calls for proposals, we thought it'd be useful to give a bit of history on previous projects being funded under the Horizon 2020 program, which is the predecessor of the Horizon Europe program. There is a lot of continuity in the investment that the European Union makes on research and innovation. So if you read the work programs today of the different parts of the Horizon Europe program, you will see there's a lot of continuity with the previous ones. So this means that there are projects out there, some of these are still ongoing, some have been completed, which have dealt with agricultural operations from the perspective of precision farming, so from the perspective of technologies that allow a more precise intervention and the reduction of chemicals, nutrients, and many other products. So one project dealing with pest management is Optima, integrated pest management, to precisely detect and control plant diseases in perennial crops and open field vegetables. This is going to end in June 2022, and it deals, among others, with the disease prediction models and also with precision spraying techniques. Another project is called Canopies. So for all these projects, you can actually either Google the title of the project or search also on the European Union database of funded projects, which is called Cordis, C-O-R-D-I-S, Cordis is the database. Canopies studies human-robot collaboration in the field. It has demonstration activities on vineyards, and it tends to work with different types of robots, so it experiments also the collaboration of heterogeneous robots, some that are devoted to performing operations on the vineyard, some that basically carry stuff, and they are operated partially by farm workers. So it is a way of making operations in the vineyard more efficient. Stargate, which is going to end in September 2023, is more of a policy support type of project, where the approach is to use big data emerging from different sources in agriculture, including also regional sources, to facilitate decision making at local, regional level, both from the policies and sometimes from the farm management perspective. Then there are some very large projects which have been funded. One is Demeter, that deals with interoperability in the agri-food sector to promote a data-driven farming economy, especially on IoT technologies, and working also on standards on agricultural information models. As you can see from the funding, it's a very big project that got almost 18 million euros funding. DataBio, this is a project that was concluded a couple of years ago, but it worked as a sort of engine to produce technologies and products and link them into a marketplace. And all these technologies have in common being based on big data approaches. So agriculture was one of the strands of the project, together with fisheries and forest, and it was funded again with 16 million projects, so it was quite a robust initiative. And then again, IOF 2020, which just ended, and it focuses on the acceleration of IoT application in agriculture with different use cases around Europe. It is quite important to make sure that if you wish to apply to the Horizon Europe program, you know what has been funded before. The European Commission is not going to fund the same thing again. And as you probably know, it is also essential to demonstrate a European-wide impact, which doesn't mean you have to have a consortium with all European countries, but you have to make sure that the results of the project will be relevant to the European agricultural and food sector. I think this concludes our quick overview of the coming calls for proposals and some background information on previous projects. So thank you again for connecting and being here in Bologna with us, and thanks again to the Central Europe program for making Transfarm 4.0 possible. See you next time. Thank you.